Practical Principles. This is Practical Prince. Sorry the camera isn't working. I think it's because my laptop's low on power and I think it's automatically turning it off. I can't imagine why it's not connecting. Um, but today's our philosophy segment, so we're mostly whiteboarding anyways. So this time we wanted to look at society and particularly the somewhat biological aspects of it. See what else we can learn from exploring these details, really. What that might mean for, well, the society, and then for any legal code, any ethics we try to put together. So here's some of the observations from previous I might need to refresh this page. Let's see if it keeps up. Oh, good. They found the eraser. Excellent. Okay. So yeah, we've got the generational churn, and this is just people dying, the new people coming in. Related, there's immigration, which would be between societies, not necessarily if you have someone who's not participating in a society, I guess, but there's the potentially terminal, a society can die out. And then there's the fact that societies will interact. And I think the example here was like the Pilgrims when they came to America and met the natives. So let's consider generational churn. We're going to have some way for the, and I guess we should take our notes somewhere. So just with the fact that people come and go, there needs to be a way of the ethical code perpetuating itself. So generational churn and immigration. So that implies law/ethics needs to perpetuate and like there's all sorts of ways we could phrase this. There's perpetuate, infect, if you want a little more nefarious term, transmit. Because, I mean, a law that you never talk about soon doesn't exist in anybody, just because there won't be anybody who knows about it anymore, nobody to observe it. So, yeah. And that gets interesting because then, like, I mean, in just about, well, I'm thinking of violent situations like you're gang pressed into a group, or there's a tyrant. So it's basically the same thing. And so I guess you might want to note. Actually, this is probably its own thing. benefits. Let's make this big. Um, so I guess increased self-preservation, self-defense. I can spell. Um, which, in the case of a tyrant or a gang, um, like staying alive is an incentive because there's otherwise the threat of violence, which is why you would join. Um, so let's see what else is there. Um, other benefits. Um, promotes peaceful interactions. And or accounts for and or accounts for violations. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of examples because basically I'm seeing that this lines up with our your incentives line up with the rules you're naturally following. Um, so like your self-preservation, your safety, um, and then yeah, there's the peaceful interactions, and if you don't, then it's prosecuted. Don't know if there's a better way of um, I like that word better than accounts. Prosecutes violations. And now I want to see if that's an and or an or either. I mean, you can definitely have, there's definitely the and. I guess the question is, could it be an or? Could it only promote peaceful interactions? Um, and I think you could. Um, I think that can be an or at least there's many pacifist um, groups and organizations, um, and so obviously, well, I mean, there's just little to no recourse in some cases for when they're violated. So this you can definitely the peaceful interactions that can be standalone. I guess the prosecutes violations. Um, mm, I mean, even in those pacifist scenarios, even if it's not a formal or a legal structure, like there is, um, it can be protested. Let me see what prosecute means, just to make sure. Um, hmm. I think I'm still okay with that. Um, and I'm not sure that these are as separable as I think they are. It's sort of like two sides of the same coin. So I think we'll leave the and or. Um, yeah. And now, um, now what was the third thing? Um, benefit of doubt, uncertainty. Um, I don't know that that has a direct correlation to a benefit. Because yeah, not every society allows room for doubt. Some can be pretty black and white. Um, I think those are your main benefits. Not that they're, um, not that they're, not that the society's um, demerits will be less than the merits, because you can still get some of this. You still get these benefits in a bad society. It's just skewed in a way, I guess. So, yeah. Okay, so now that we talked about that, um, so we have the spread, so to speak, of the ethics of the code, at least for the society. Um, immigration and interaction with other societies. These are somewhat related. Um, I guess I don't think there's really a way to deny the existence of other societies. Um, and then I guess, can we take it a step further? Is there a singular right society? And almost certainly the answer to that is no. So, only one society, false. Um, one right society, false. And what that's really getting to is um, well, I guess, does it really need to account for how it interacts with other societies? Um, I don't know that it has to. I'm not sure that it would have to, because, like, if you've got an organized religion, for example, those beliefs won't necessarily have anything to do with a society other than the organized religion. In which case, you don't necessarily need uh, rules or codes for how you interact with other societies. So, um, I guess, in as much as it might control the behavior of its constituents, that will have an impact on their interaction with others. Um, so you don't necessarily directly call out how to interact with other societies. I guess other societies exist, but rules for engaging in them aren't requisite. So that's interesting. Well, and I mean, with the example of religion, that's different from the traditional like political societies like America, China, stuff like that, um, where there's a territorial aspect to it as well. So that's, yeah, odd, so to speak. Um, and I guess up here with I don't know that needs is requisite. Um, Because, yeah, I mean, you could have a terminal group, a terminal code. So, in fact, I'm thinking of laser tag, and like you have a code of conduct for when you go into a game, um, but it ends when you're done with the game, done with the venue. So, those are like mini societies in a sense, at least as far as those. That's because basically you have high immigration, um, and you do have a generational churn. It's just not a generation, it's just typical business turnover in the staff. That is interesting. Okay. So that's not really terminal in that sense, in the laser tag example. Um, gosh, now I want to. We need another thing for. Create something. Go away. Okay. Okay. Examples. And go back down. I don't know that it has to be organized. We'll just keep it religion for now. Um, country and, well, I guess nation. Um, is there tag establishment? probably acceptable both ways. I think I like this either. Okay. Um, were there any other interesting examples that we wanted to consider? Probably, but I mean, we'll get there when we. Oh, I mean, we talked about pacifist limitations. Okay. Because there's also the fact that um, these can be nested, or they're nestable, which is, I mean, how I'm even aware of the laser tag establishment. That's within a nation. Um, it will be independent of, or at least this code is independent of this code, and doesn't require. Um, Interesting. Would you? I guess would you have a nation? Yeah, I guess the observation across all of these is that it imposes on behavior. Come on. There we go. Society imposes behavioral expectations. I don't know if that's clear. Expectations of behavior. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we've gone through a number of interesting examples. Um, yeah, and on the nestable, I guess I just want to clarify societies can nest, overlap, or be independent of each other. Like in the case of religion, a number, like you've got world religions that span multiple countries. Um, you have nations that are territorial, and so they stand independent, so to speak. Um, and I guess it just depends on, well, and obviously the establishment is nested within a nation. So I guess we should be clear. member can belong to multiple societies. And then I guess we could say that some societies can be at odds. I don't know if that's worth noting though. That's similar to the independent. So, well, I guess um, yeah, it might be worth noting because there is a relationship in that case. Societies can be at odds with each other. Mutually exclusive. Okay. Um, I'm trying to think what else there is to go over. Um, we've touched on just about all of our observations. Um, so I guess maybe um, what would we recommend for a code? Um, so assuming that we want a lasting code that um, so definitely it has to propagate. Um, it's got to be communicable, I guess. Because that can kill it. Um, it needs to incentivize membership. If there's no reason to join, then it'll die out. Um, and then similarly, um, you'll want to retain membership basically in some way. So, measures to retain membership. Um, I want to say minimal positions. Just don't impose on the members more than you need to. Because, I mean, between two societies, one with more requirements, one with less, and otherwise being equal, why wouldn't members go for the one with less? So, yeah. Um, so that basically puts together a minimal code uh, that will propagate itself in some way or communicate itself as needed. I'm trying to think if there's any time where you want the society to perish, basically. Um, and now I'm thinking of like backroom deals, um, shady stuff. And I'm trying to think. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't think of any reason that it wouldn't want to propagate itself or protect its membership. So, and then as far as incentivizing membership, um, I'm trying to think of counterexamples. And at best, I'm thinking of mafia deals, and you want to retain membership in that case because you want the deal to work. Um, Obviously, they might end up stabbing each other in the back at some point um, when there's basically no incentive for membership anymore. So, um, yeah, I think we'll leave it at that for now. Um, just can't really think of anything else. Um, but I'm not certain that that would be it. So, okay. We'll call that good for now. Um, I think, I don't think we have a particular topic to continue on to. So, I think for now, this will conclude the first run of the philosophy series. Um, there's a, where, I mean, tarot has been more popular. Um, Admittedly, we probably had technical difficulties with this, which we didn't realize. So that probably deterred people from viewing or participating. And this is more of a monologue rather than dialogue, so you don't get chatters, which I think increases engagement to some extent. I mean, some people do prefer a monologue. Um, so But yeah, I think next steps. This will probably end this series, and we'll probably let Tarot take over the time slot. Um, Hone in more on that niche and see how that does for the channel, for the business. So that's it for now. Uh, Take care. Hope you have a good week, and